Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Ben's Camera Show. Good to see you all here. We were just reminiscing about Saturday Night Live in the comments just this minute. I didn't see the new UK one, but I was talking about how I'm old enough that when I was quite young, I went to the old... the UK had something called Friday Night Live, and then it was called Saturday Live. I think it was just called Saturday Live, not Saturday Night Live. And it was presented by all those sort of famous people like, Harry Enfield and Fry and Laurie and Ben Elton and Rick Mayall and Ade Edmondson. And when I went, the Spitting Image Puppets were presenting it, which was great because being in the audience, you got to see up close how they actually work. Anyway, that was, trip down little memory lane there. How you all doing? Super Cine 100 says hello. Hello you. Hello Super Cine. Hello old radios. This side towards the screen. Michael Carter, bit of a legend in the field, is joining us tonight. So yes, it's a very relevant show for him because he is a darkroom expert. And I hope we have a few darkroom experts and non-experts tonight because we're going to talk darkroom stuff. New darkroom technology. Yes, some very nice people called Vintage Visual, based out of Tallinn in Estonia. Yunus, who's one of the Vintage Visual people, has sent me some kit to try out, which I have tried it out, let me tell you. And we're going to be looking at it tonight. There's some really cool stuff. Also we're going to be looking at some expired versus fresh film developed in some different ways, both negative and reversal, both short develop time and very long developing time. See what the deal is there. And next week I will be doing Exploding Cinema, which I seem to be plugging at the start of every single show. But be that as it may, let's give it one more plug. If you're in London and you have made a film, or if you like seeing films, come to Exploding Cinema. We are in Peckham next Thursday, the 2nd of April. We put on film shows, we put on shorts, we put on independent stuff, we put on all sorts of stuff, and we get all our old projectors out and we muck about projecting them all over the shop. There's just some pictures there of how we did Set the last time. And Set is a really cool place in southeast London area called Peckham, but I appreciate that not everyone here is from London or even the UK. And to those people, I extend a very warm welcome. You're safe here, here at Ben's Camera Show. So, we're still talking about SNL, are we, on the chat? Old radios. When SNL started, it was Saturday night because Howard Cosell had a show called SNL. Oh, okay. Well, how about that? We've learned something. I know Howard Cosell was. He was that sports announcer, wasn't he? Vaguely familiar with the guy. Now, let's see. Oh yes, so let's talk about the film processor. These guys, the Argo from Vintage Visual, they sent me this thing, and it is a revolutionary product. It is really impressive what they've done and what they are continuing to do in the world of darkroom equipment. And we will, and it's the Super 8 version that they've sent me to have a look at. So, what else? Anything before we get right into it? No. Okay, so what I've done, because this stuff is a bit big, it's a bit unwieldy, and it's going to make you need a lot of space to sort of unpack it all and test it all. I actually pre-filmed a bloody unboxing video. Yep, this is where I jumped the shark, everyone. I'm filming unboxing videos. So, let's start with what they sent me. And then we're going to go into the developing methods I used, the darkroom chemistry and the film I used. And then we're going to have a look at how the machine handled my film it was a very expired film, but we'll see how it handled that. And finally, I give the pros and cons of the whole thing, and we're going to end on another zero budget special effect So there's going to be a packed show tonight, so let's get straight into it. Screening room for us. Let's go in here, and where am I? Here I am. So I'm going to start with the film of the unboxing, and I will be stopping it here and there maybe to make extra comments. So enjoy. This is the Argo film processor. BENS unboxing boxes. Yes. Right, let's see if I can actually find the... Here we go. All right. So I'm not in the habit of doing unboxing videos. I find them incredibly boring. But the lovely people at Vintage Visual sent me this stuff to test out, and so let's see what's in the boxes. Sound might be a little bit low on this phone. So we have here one Argo film processor, film developing made easy. Well, look at that. We'll talk about that more in depth later. And inside this box is some cables and a stirring film. Also a quick start guide, which I shall definitely be looking at later. Now in here we have a Long Boy, a big Patterson developing tank. I used to develop my Super 8 in this spaghetti style, just chucked it all in a big lump. Now this is the most interesting part, and I think this is why they might have selected me to try this thing out. It is a Super 8 holder that goes inside this. There we go, that's a bit better. Whoa! 3D printed, you can see by the grain on it. Look at that. It's like a great big spiral. Look at this. Look at that. So you got 25 feet in here and 25 feet on here. So you can do 50 feet. And finally, and this is quite exciting, they gave me a lightsaber. Now this, I guess, is for the re-exposure for reversal development. And you switch it on and so just to boil it all down, the basis of the system is this, and this. Well, before I do anything, they've given me this, which is a roller base assembly, which I have to put together myself. So let's do that. So I'll set this to some music. Yeah, I'm not sure why we have to put this bit together ourselves, but yeah, it took a little while. But at least they gave you a tool to do it. So you've got to put these wheels on there. And it's not for rolling things around. Well, it is kind of, but the wheels don't go on the floor and act as a platform. It sits on its back like this. Okay. So this is the roller base. It's designed so the wheels go up. And when you're loading this thing with the film, it can just easily just turn like this as you load the film on. So let's give that a go next. Okay, so I'm going to try and load this thing with some dummy film out in the open and the light, so I can at least see what's going on before I try and load my film in the changing bag. So it says before you start, you need to put this central funnel from the Patterson tank right up the big spiral, should we call it? Big spiral, little spiral. And then you start with the little spiral here. Now, what you're supposed to do is to pull out some of the film that you've exposed from the bottom, break the spindle if it's a single-use commercial film. This is a reloadable cartridge just for demonstration purposes. So it says with the emulsion side outwards rather, you're supposed to clip it onto this thing.
Was it too loud?
Onto this little sprung hook here.
Old radios.
See? And it says to do this before you even put it in. So you're basically going to burn up some of your film. So I'm just going to sort of punch it through. Like so. There we go. So that's holding on to that, made a little hole in it. And then it says to put this lot into the changing bag. So here's the arrangement inside the changing bag. All this stuff has to fit in a big old changing bag to get both of these things, plus the Patterson tank, plus your cartridge, and have enough room to sort of maneuver everything around. So yeah, it's I had enough space, luckily. But that's what all the stuff you've got to put in there. You also need a rubber band. So let's say now we're in the changing bag, complete darkness. And the theory is that it sits on its little wheelie thing here. And you just hold the cartridge like this, let the film come out, and I guess feel that, make sure it's going around, and then just turn it around and around. I've sped it up in case you haven't noticed. And I guess you just keep going on and on like this until you've got 25 feet of film loaded. It wasn't that hard to do without being able to see. Keep going along until the inner spiral is all done. I could pretty much feel how it was going. And then this is the tricky bit. Instructions say that you insert the inner reel into the outer reel and lock them together by twisting it clockwise. At the same time, hold the film in place with your thumb, and then load the film onto the outer reel in the opposite direction. Okay, let's try that. So let's see, we reach the end here. I can feel it's the last groove. I think this is the sort of the escape bit here where it comes out. So I'm going to hold this with my thumb and then put this inner reel into the outer reel. Make sure that that plastic funnel thing goes right into the center there. And it goes, okay. And so twist it to lock it. Let's get that back in there. There we go. Okay, so that's locked with that in place, right? And then it says go in the other direction. Oh, I see, back this way. Okay, so let's put that back on here. So it's a fairly smooth transition. This way. And there we go. So there's the rest of the film, whoops, being wound up along the outer spiral. Oh, okay, so this wasn't a full load because it's a reloadable cartridge. So at the end there, well, it says you've got to stick it on somehow. You get what they say you have to do is to fix a rubber band around the final loop there to keep it in place. Get it all into here, and there it is. Stick that on there. Ignore the fact there's a bit of film escaping out there, and you're ready to go. Right, so we're ready to go. But what are we ready to go? What kind of developing scheme are we gonna cook up for this thing to develop for us? Well, I've been doing some research. I've been doing some a bit of How's Your Father with a couple of different film stocks. A fresh one, which is Orwell UN54, which I've used a lot, black and white. It can be negative, can be reversal. And the other one was some SVEMA. SVEMA. Do I have a roll of it to show you? Well, of course I don't. But I'll pick some up during the next film. So yes, it's basically a 1992 expired black and white film made in the Ukraine, and it comes on little rolls and it has to be loaded into reusable cartridges. But is it any good? Well, I haven't had much luck with it up to now, but I did do some research which I'm going to share with you now. So let's see how we. That's one of Michael Carter's. Best film Black out your back garden shed. Oh yeah, of course. Yes. Yes, get a changing bag or a darkroom, or as Michael says, black out your garden shed. It's not rocket science. Anyway, so let's see what we got. Which film did I use? Oh, wait a minute. Before I tell you which, before we work out the film that we used, I'm going to show you how you can program this thing. I forgot that bit. Let's get that off and get the top camera on, and there we go. So here's the Argo in the flesh. And what it is basically is a... Oh, what on earth is going on? I'm going to just switch off the blue screen. Why do I bother every time? Doesn't matter. This is fine. So yes, basically the Argo is a device with this stirring column in the middle, and that hooks into the top of your horizontal or vertical Patterson tank, and this thing stirs that Super 8 loaded Super 8 holder thing around and round one way, then the other way. At the same time, this little sensor here is a temperature sensor, so it can gauge the temperature of your fluids. And this is the clever bit. You can even set it to, supposing your developer cools down, it will extend the length of developing time. You can set it to do that automatically. If your developer is too warm, it can reduce the amount of developing time. So very clever. It does have a brain in it. Let's switch it on and we'll see. Oh, the radio says accidentally play the intro. No. I'm professional now. I'm not doing that anymore. If it happens, it'll happen organically. Okay, so in the main menu, they give you the default programs and the custom programs and the settings. The default programs, it's already come loaded with a whole bunch of film stocks. Black and white, color negative, color reversals, lots of different makers of C41, E6, E6 ADOX, ECN2, Bellini, CineStill. Very useful. Personally, I've got a whole bunch of my own recipes which tailor quite well to the chemicals which I have. So I might want to program something in myself, like if I know what I want. So here are a couple of custom programs. Now, how do you program it in? Do you do it with this little limited control? No, you do not. You actually get into it a bit like you do with a cable box. It has its own Wi-Fi capability and settings and website. So we go into settings, not sort of website, kind of like a web-based settings page. So we go down to firmware update, select that, and then press down, and boom, it is now broadcasting on the Wi-Fi. And if you log in with your computer with this IP code and this password, the default seems to be 123456778, then you can then log into the HTML based. Well, let me show you. Why not I just show you? Okay. So imagine we've now logged into the website. I keep calling it a website, but you'll see it's not a website, but it is HTML. If you've ever had to go into your cable box settings, you'll know what I'm talking about. And here we go. Boom. So this is what you get into. Now I'm going to move myself because I'm kind of in the way in the corner here. So woo, over to here. Going here. I had a bit of fun earlier on. I was making, I was doing Terry Gilliam style stuff. I was putting myself on the big camera and little camera and had myself sort of down here. Look, Cray twins. Anyway. Oh, we have a laugh down at Ben's camera show. We do. Imagine if I had a camera shop. Imagine how insufferable that'd be. Okay, so anyway, you go into the Argo. I'm here like Herbie Hancock with computers on two sides. So I'm going to try and just go through this and show you what you get. So this is the setup screen. You can update the firmware. Don't need to do that. I've already got the latest firmware. You can customize your programs here. So these are all the different developing programs it's got built in. And if we go to custom here and we go to add new program, you can quite easily, here we go. So let's just create one, shall we? Custom. So category. What's the category? Let's see. Oh, I see. The drop-down menu is not coming up on the transfer, but never mind. Let's say black and white. Extended title. Don't need to give that. Just say OK. And let's see. Okay, so he starts with a rinse time. You can choose agitation. And then let's add another one. Add another. You can add another step. Here we go. Add step. And then where it says rinse, I can choose, oh yes, okay, the drop down menu, you can see it. So let's say we start off with just dev, just call it dev. So let's call it dev. Let's do 10 minutes developing. Confirm. Agitation, you can choose the agitation. Okay, it's not come up right now, probably because it's not actually connected right now, because it messes up with the whole stream and the internet and everything. But then you just keep adding steps. You can tell it to, so here, let's have a, I don't know, a bleach stage. Oh no, let's just go straight to fix. So just fix. There we go, 5. So you just basically program it like this. And then when you confirm, and then when you're done, you just go to here, upload changes to Argo, click on that. And then what do you know, your Argo now has the program in it. And here's one I did earlier. Let's see, let's go to custom programs. There, SVEMA 50 reversal. So I hit the play button and there we go. And there is the whole reversal process for my SVEMA film. And I can jump to any one of these steps just by selecting it and then hitting the play button here. So yeah, it's very easy to get the hang of. The one thing you have to remember is to plant the end of your Patterson tank very securely onto this thing, because this is a watertight seal, and you better hope it's watertight. It didn't leak for me; it was fine for me. And you can do it sideways, or you can have it on top and have it stir your stuff from sitting on top. So that's the basic Argo unit. Let's see, a lot of action on the comments now. Stas Vlad is in the house. Hello, Vlad. I've been known to get agitated. Does it give you time between cycles? Yeah. Well, we'll see in a minute. We'll see it when it's in action. But when it stops a cycle, it doesn't go straight to the next one. It actually just keeps it beeps some alarms, and then it just keeps stirring until you come and deal with it. Because obviously it doesn't have any robot arms to sort of stop the pull the tank off and stop the developing. So let's I'll just switch that off for now, and let's have a look at how I discovered my process for this SVEMA film. So what we'll do is go firstly we'll go back into the screening room. And here we go. So let's pause this until get a look at my notes here. Hey, Barry Steinlager's in the house. Sorry I'm late. It's all right, mate. Just rewind at the end and catch up. Super Cine 100. Hey, mate. That's a nice bit of kit. Yeah, very cool bit of kit. Wait till you see what goes inside the thing. Hey, Judas is on the. Right. Okay. So in the chat, this is very important. We've been joined by Eunice from Vintage Visual, and it seems he's on the fourth column. Actually, it's the temperature stuff. The temperature gauge is crossed out like that for Ben. Now the time compensation is not turned on. Yeah, there's a lot of features I haven't got into yet. We will see it in action in a minute on the video. But firstly, okay, so A quick diversion here, because we're going to work out our developing times for this this bloody SVEMA, which has caused me no end of trouble throughout the years. I was given 20 cartridges of the damn stuff, and I'm basically I've not got good results most of the time I've shot it, but I'm persisting. So anyway, well, this is actually not the SVEMA right here, old radios. This is UN54. This is fresh stuff. This was bought on a large roll from Wittner, I believe, or Carl, and loaded into the disposable cartridge. So anyway, this is how I developed it, and it, as you can see, it turned out okay. This is reversal developed, and I used it last week. This is what I did last week with the bleach spots and the fun. We had fun with bleach. So yeah, the process works okay with that, but with SVEMA, the same process comes out. Ooh dear, not very good at all. Very patchy. This is I did this in a Lomo, by the way, not in the Argo. In the Lomo tank. Yeah, very patchy. I think I underdeveloped, and I think I underexposed as well. This is the SVEMA 50. Now, so what I thought, let's try some stands developing. Let's put it in for a long time, a weaker developer. So I used Rodinol. Well, it was actually R09, I think. It's the same kind of stuff as Rodinol, made by ADOX. And this was 1+100. In fact, if I can get my top camera back on and put the thing on, get the chroma key back on. Oh god, it still looks like garbage. Let's try. There we go. Good enough. All right. Now I can use my finger at least to. Oh god. Why do I bother? Oh dear. Well, I'm not going to. Yeah, I'll just switch that layer off. So anyway. So yes, this was the UN54 exposed at 5.6, 1+100 Rodinol. Which is very weak, only 10 mils in a litre. And I let it sit in the developer for 60 minutes and developed it as a negative. Just stopped it and fixed it, came out okay. Let's do a digital reversal on that and see how that looks when I flipped it. Yeah, not bad. Maybe a little bit overdeveloped. Yeah, very grainy, and the whites are slightly bleached out. Anyway, so that's UN54. That's fresh stuff, okay? Stand developed for 60 minutes. Now, this is UN54 reversal developed after the first sitting for an hour for the first development. So reversal development, not bad either. So I think the process works okay on fresh film. Now, this is the SVEMA developed as a negative for 60 minutes in 1+100 Rodinol. So weak stuff for a long time again. I let it sit, and again, this was done in not in the Argo machine. This is all just pre-Argo. Digitally reversed, yeah, it's kind of bleachy, it's kind of grainy. It's okay compared to some other results I've had, and it was also exposed at f1.8, so very, very high exposure. So I got something. However, the SVEMA, as we saw, developed as in 1+50 Rodinol for 20 minutes, came out very gloopy like this and dark and kind of not very high contrast either. And I realized what it is, and I think it was Sidor Matrasov who gave me this this advice, which is that the SVEMA is basically not 50 ASA, it's more like 5 ASA at this point, which means that you cannot overexpose it enough. This was shot with the new Kodak camera they let me borrow at f1, and this is there's my mate Jan, f2.4, and that actually looks like a pretty decent exposure. And f2.4 in sunny conditions would normally bleach the hell out of any film, but it looks like this stuff actually needed a really high exposure. However, the problem still remains that it's underdeveloped. So even in times like this, shots like this, when I had the thing wide open and even shooting at 9 frames a second at f1.8 on a sunny day, it's still kind of like you get those patchy, uneven development there. Again, this was in the Lomo. So yeah, I think it was underdeveloped. It was underdeveloped and underexposed. So basically, you need to go hard with the exposure and you need to go long with the developer. Now check out the difference between this and when it's been stand developed for first developer for 60 minutes there. See, the patchiness has gone. The developing was long enough for a whole hour. So we now have some data that we can bring to the Argo and program it and see if the cat wants to lick it, as we say. Don't feed this stuff to your cat. So yeah, so here's the I'm going to give it one more go. Okay. Oh God, it looks awful. Oh, I know what the problem is. There, that's better. Okay, so I'm going to use this to point with. So yes, this is exposed 1.8. We got 60 minutes for our first developer, a minute or so for the stop bath. Well, let's have a look. I can show you what I programmed. I programmed it all into the Argo. So we just go to custom programs, do that, SVEMA 50 rev, enter. There we go. So it's first developer, 60 minutes. Stop bath, 1 minute. Bleach, 4 minutes. I actually ended up needing, I think, 6 minutes bleach. I had to put it back in. Clearing bath, 1 minute. Second exposure, that's not the Argo, that's outside the Argo. Then second developer, 30 minutes. I did 30 minutes in twice as strong Rodinol because I just couldn't be bothered to wait for another hour. Fixer, 5 minutes. Boom. So having programmed that all in and into the Argo, well, we're ready to start doing some actual developing, and luckily I have some footage here. So I'm not in the which was at 8 minutes. Here we go. Aldrea says, like shooting Kodachrome. Yes, Aldrea says like shooting Kodachrome in 2026. Very much. Kodachrome rules apply with this stuff. Is the rotation a fixed speed? Eunice can probably answer that. It seemed to be. It seemed to be. You can also program it in this thing. You can program it to have to turn in different ways, like to go a certain distance one way and then backwards, or just continuous in one direction, or no agitation at all. So yeah, that's all in the settings there. But I'll just put that away for the moment. So we're going to watch me do some actual developing. Yay! Let's shut me up and start watching. And you're ready to go. So we're going to be doing a long stand development for 1 hour with this R09 one shot, which is basically Rodinol. And we're going to be doing 1+100. So I'm going to measure out 10 mils of that. I'm going to make 1 litre of solution. There we go. So that's going to be 10 mils of that. 10 mils of my cocktail. So let's call up the 1 hour program that I pre-programmed on this thing. So I go to custom programs. I've just shown you this, but there we go. And there it is, SVEMA 50 rev. And there's all the steps that I've already programmed in. So I'm going to start by pouring in the developer. I'm using 1 litre. The minimum you're supposed to use is 700 mils. And because this thing, they've drilled some holes down at the bottom, you can just pour it straight in like this. I should say that they also give you a template for drilling holes in your existing. Okay. And now let's start the program. I'll show you that later. And while that's doing, I'm going to have some lunch. There we go, just reverse direction there. And yeah, there you go. It's on battery, but you can charge it with a little USB-C. So it goes beep, then 2 beeps. Okay, so it's a warning beep. And then 3 beeps. Alright, you can apparently pour everything out with the Argo still attached to it. So let's try that. Oh yeah, there it goes. Very straightforward. That was relatively painless. Maybe I should give it a rinse or put the stop bath straight in. Let's go straight to the stop bath. Let's see. So the Argo just stays attached to it. And now go to stop and play. Start from step 2, I guess. Yes. Okay. Okay, so in goes the bleach. So let's see how 4 minutes does. Oh shit, I already... Michael, yes, it rotated all the way through. I already spilt some. Oh yeah. Okay, maybe I should have poured it while it was upright. Yeah, technically it didn't really stand to develop it, it just rotated it. It's just a long developing. Old Riz, yes, there was a stop. I didn't show you that, but there was a stop. Let's see what we got. Now this is it coming out of the bleach, and I was inspecting it to see if it was actually fully bleached. It was hard to tell. It was quite dark. Inside we see, and then a disaster. Something. A real. I don't know if it's completely bleached or not. Stand by. No! Fuck! Yeah, I dropped the thing on the floor. First time I'm using, and yeah, whoopsie. The good news and bad news. Good news is it still works. Bad news, a bit chipped off. I'll show you the details later. Oh God, was there egg on my face? I think I'm just not used to handling the thing. Oh, now this is cool. Here's the lightsaber they use for second exposure. And it is fun. Especially because this thing is hollow. It goes all the way in. Look at that. Nice. This side's going to... Oh no, yeah, I know. Well, since the thing got turned off in the last couple of steps, I'm going to switch it back on. I'm going to go back to the custom process that I set up earlier. Custom program, SVEMA 50. Ah, Eunice says... Argo. We can just skip to any part of the process. So we're at the second developing here, so it's SD. They've added a quick pour funnel. Press the play. Start from step 6, confirm that. There we go. Not forgetting to actually pour the developer in. I'm not sure if it's supposed to... Give it half an hour in... twice as strong developer. I don't know if you're supposed to... That's the first step. If you're supposed to pour it in first before you start. But yeah, it started turning it and then I poured it in as it went. It didn't seem to make an awful lot of difference. I mean, we're talking 30-minute developing here, so yeah. So that was the second development. It's got a bit kinked at the end. I think it got the back and forth messed it around. Okay, so this was not really an issue per se, but because I was not shooting an entire 50-foot roll, it meant there was a sort of a trailing edge to this film, and it kind of got unspooled from the outer spool as it went round one way and round the other. So just the end bit, about a foot, got all kind of like crushed up and kinked. Good developing going on there. However, the rest of it, as you can see, stayed on the grooves and looks very... looks like... I haven't even fixed it. Already it looks like you could project it. Yes. And finally, some extremely fresh Ilford Rapid Fixer. This side toward screen. Can you glue the chip back on? Well, I'll show you. I think I might be able to improvise something instead. It's a bit more than a chip. Look at that. Looks amazing though. That is some even development right there. That is some. If I, you know, that is. It looks absolutely amazing there. And now look. This is just as a comparison. When I first got this SVEMA, this is the kind of results I got. So what's the wheeled base used loading film? And it rotates only using the what the wheeled base? It turns the thing. Yeah, it turns. Anyway, so, I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at with the wheeled base. I did show you how to use it before, but anyway, so this is the result I used to get with SVEMA, not this. This is good. You can tell straight away. There's some definite results here. Bear in mind, okay, so that's what I used to. That's the kind of image I used to get. Part of it's down to the really terrible scanning I had, but this is what I used to have the results. And now here are the results from the Argo. It is night and day. It looks excellent. I mean, this looks like fresh film. Never mind all the bits and pieces on it. I shot this, like I said, that's at 9 frames a second at f1.8. So you give it all the light you can, and it's, you know, there's still some patchy bits on the picture, but my God, it looks pretty damn good. Let's have some music there. Yeah, I gotta say, it's a very even. None of that kind of. I used to get these kind of like bands along where the sprocket hole was, and with the Lomo, and none of that happened this time. And this expired in 1992. This stuff. So reversal's the way to go with this film, and the Argo, gotta say, very nice job in terms of like how sort of clean a development it looks. I cannot fault it. I have a couple of issues here and there, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, I mean, I had 20 rolls of this stuff. I got about 8 rolls left. So it took me 12 rolls to get a result this good. They'll walk around King's Cross and Granary Square. That's the old gas meters. And now this was on the Bolia, but let's just pause it there. This is this was shot at, I think, like 9 or 10 frames a second on the Bolia 4008 ZM4, and looks absolutely lovely, very crisp. Well, that's not so crisp. I think I messed the focus, but yeah, this is at macro. You know, you have to be really careful with your with your depth of field at that kind of f-stop. And finally, a couple of shots here on Hampstead Heath. Very nice. We're getting towards the end of the roll, and then you can see this is the bit which got kind of all crumpled and crimped inside the Argo. You'll see in a second. Should never film a panorama like that. Can't really see it properly. Oh well. And yeah, it was getting a bit dirty here at the end. And there's Sam and Sissy, son and wife. So yeah, it's getting very grungy here. So yeah, that was the result. And yeah, Old Radio says, nice, thank you. This side to all screen, very cool. Super Cindy 100 says, that looks great. Old Radio says, still not a Bolia only yet earlier. How's now they're getting sidetracked talking about Bolex H8. I could sit there with you and talk about that all day as well. So yeah, basically, what else do we have? Yes, so we're going to talk some pros and cons now, as a sort of a little finishing off, talking about the Argo. Thanks, Eunice, for joining us on the chat. It's been very useful. I'm sure there's more stuff I haven't gone into. As I use the thing, I will get into it. Okay, conclusions. It did a very good job, as we can all see. The developing is very clean. It's not patchy. The custom programs were easy to set up. I was worried that this whole separate thing on the computer with the Wi-Fi, I thought that wouldn't work, but it did. It was easy. Once I got used to how it works, the fact that it turns the thing round, then you have to pour the stuff out, pour stuff in. It was quite straightforward to use. It didn't take me long to learn it. And one thing you can say about these sideways. Let's get the big one back in here. So one thing you can say about these sideways developing thing, like I think the Jobo tank, is because the fluid pools at the bottom, and the thing that is constantly turning and showing it doesn't actually turn this bit, but I'm just using it as an illustration. But because the inside of this is constantly turning and going inside the chemistry, you don't need to fill the entire thing with fluid if it's on its side. So you save on the fluid, on the amount of chemistry you have to mix up. However, you still have to mix up 700 mils. I did a litre because all my measurements are in litres. It's just easier. And 700 mils to a litre, that's pretty much what a Lomo tank takes for 50 feet as well. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I'd say that it's saving me having to make as much chemistry. I'm sure it does when you use the shorter version for 35 mil still film. And yeah, maybe you could try making some different amounts and seeing how little you can get away with making. Okay, another con, and I feel this is something. Feels very unfair to criticize it when I did something so bloody stupid as to drop it on the floor. However, here we go. However, this 3D printed stuff is quite fragile. It's quite brittle. The bit that snapped off was here at the end. There was a circular bit here. In fact, have I still got it? Let's see. Did I put it away somewhere? Oh, yeah, here it is. So yeah. So basically, there was a ring here, and it's just held on with these struts. And I'm not saying it's not my fault, because I definitely did make a stupid mistake and drop it on the floor. But this thing, because that central kind of funnel that goes up it, it is under a certain amount of stress. So I'm concerned that if if I hadn't dropped it, I would really have to look after it better. And I'm happy to say that even with that bit missing, you can still, the thing still loads, and it does actually fit into the thing, and the Argo does still rotate it. So it does effectively still work, even with that bit snapped off. Maybe I'll try something, or maybe I'll use something like some wire or some thermoplastic, or even if I know someone who can CNC make another thing there to hold that in. So yeah, other than that snapping, well, it was a very successful development. Any other cons? The spirals and the long tank are a little bit unwieldy if you're not used to it, because like if you're holding this thing up, in fact, let me get onto the big picture here. Get that away. This side was is how's cleaning of the motor section? Well, really the only thing to clean is is this little knob bit at the end, the stirrer. The rest of it is pretty straightforward. You just wipe it down, basically, when you're finished. I just wiped it down with paper cloth. So what I'm saying is that it's if you're not used to these long things, it does take a bit of getting used to, especially when it's all wet with the chemistry. It fits together like that, and the whole thing goes into there. So when you're inside the changing bag, you know, you need this much space inside the changing bag to get this into here. So just bear that in mind. Another slight problem, but again, it's probably just the way I used it, was that if you're not doing an entire roll of 50 feet and your film kind of runs up halfway down the outer spiral, like mine did, then it can be a little bit tricky inside the bag when you're loading it to get the rubber band around it and to make sure it's all properly secured. I think if it goes all the way to the end, it's a bit easier. Ooh. Any other thoughts? Let's see. Next time I'm going to use it to try a 35mm. But I thought what we should do is now this stuff is all in here. Now I've shown it to you. It doesn't matter if I get it a bit wet. Because I want to try and do is I want to see exactly how much fluid this needs. I think they give you this data, but I'm going to fill this up with water until it's right to the top with this thing in it. Then I'm going to pour out the water, and we're going to see exactly how much water that was. So we're going to have a little experiment. Yay! And I'm going to try not to get water all over my kit. Okay? So I'm filling the thing up. Okay, that's still not full. I'm going to have to get another bottle of water. Luckily, I have another bottle of water. This is not mineral water, by the way. Oh, nearly. Okay, I've poured, how much is this? This is 1 litre, that's 1.5. Yeah, so we're looking at about 2.5 litres of water. There we go, that's where you can't see very easily there, but that is now pretty much filled to the top. So you would have to make, if you wanted to fill this and have the Argo run it vertically, you need about 2.5 litres of chemistry. Whereas if you have it horizontally, you only need 700 millilitres. So there's a lesson there for us all to learn. Right. Someone. I think someone on the from Vintage Visual might have tuned in. Said 2,300 millilitres. There we go. I think we've got the answer right there. I didn't have to fill that thing with water, but there you go. So yeah, so that's a fair amount of chemistry. But of course, 700 mils minimum on its side. Put it on its side. Have the thing rotate it. There we go. So that is the Argo film processor. Should we go on their website, see how much one of these would set you back? Let's get down to actual brass tacks. So they do a lot of other stuff. Look at all this other stuff they do. So here's the reel, £264. The film processor, 366. They also do this, which is where you can put a piece of photo paper inside the tank and have it go round and round doing paper. That's pretty cool. What else we got? Yeah, so you'd be basically paying the same you'd pay for a new old stock Lomo tank, I'd say. They got reels. They got, there's the there's the funnel. There's the quick pour funnel. I need that. So yeah, that would make things a bit easier. Oh. They got reels. They got what's this? Film picker retriever. So yeah, this is what I had. The reel, the Super 8. Oops. Oh God, did I just buy it? That thing breaks. If I drop it on the floor again, I might need a new one. So yeah, that's what I got. The real Super 8. So yeah, excellent that these guys are making this stuff. We need as many people making new technology as possible because the old stuff is wearing out. And I'd like to thank Eunice and the other guy from, who's the other guy? Let's actually give him a proper name check here. Here we go. Arno and Eunice. Here's our guys. So yeah, thanks guys for sending me that. It was very it was fun to use, and let me know if you need it back, and if you if you have any advice about how to stick this thing back on, then let me know. Otherwise, I'll improvise something or just use it without. It seems to be working even with the bit come off it, which is great. So Aldris, I see that 1014 XLS. Yeah, they like put that in the picture there. Great. Okay, well I think that's that for the Argo, and we're going to finish off today as usual with a bit of a screening treat. So I'm not. Oh no! Accidentally, take a drink, everyone. Played video by accident. Anyway, listen. Last week we had a lot of great responses to the vomit film. Genuinely, yes, people liked it. It was basically, I showed you how to do a vomity effect using Adobe Encore. Was it Adobe Encore? No, Adobe After Effects. What am I saying? Encore was for authoring DVDs, wasn't it? Cecil DeVille says, do they make a reel for regular 8 or 16mm? I'm not sure, guys. If you're still on the chat, let us know if you do one for 16mm. Good question. So anyway, yes, I showed a film on how to use a blue screen to make vomit effects. Well, it went down so well that this week I'm going to show you another part of the tutorial, which is how to make a fake vomiting using practical effects. So no camera trickery involved at all here. If you're an emetophobe, you might want to look away. But in a way, I think it demystifies movie vomit, so you know it's not real. So this is how we did it. This is how I did it for a film I made called Training Daljinder. And I made this in, I think, 2007. Enjoy. So it's a milk bottle, some washing machine hose, whoops, useful gaffer tape. Okay. All. We did say zero budget. Contents of the food caddy. Nothing cheaper than that. Looks like shit. It's gonna look like I've been eating shit. Old Raiders, yeah, I should have left this stuff behind in school as well. I mean, my age in 2007, I shouldn't have been messing up. From this side, can you see anything?
No.
Like a ball.
Okay, so here's how it's going to work. When I bend over with this side of my face facing the camera, and I make my appropriate retching noises, I'm going to press down onto this milk bottle full of sick and stuff, and press down with this hand, and at the same time open my mouth as wide as I can, like that, and hopefully all the sick will look like it's coming straight out of my gullet.
sell it, really. We've hit a new low.
Oh god. I think there's more coming.
Go out, make movies, people. It's great fun.
Oh, that's better.
There we go. So, digital vomit I showed last week. There we go. Old Radio says, well done. Thank you, Old Radios. Every Friday night. Oh, what's he on about? Yes, and on that bombshell, I think we're going to have to call the show to a close. I would like to thank once again my new best friends, Jonas and Arno from vintagevisual.eu. He's made a good point here where he said the whole reel set and the big tank will be around 800, which is less than some other competitors' plain reels or tanks would cost you. Of course, Lomo is cheap, but new times. Yeah, it's hard to compare the old equipment to the new equipment because people are 3D printing sort of Lomo tanks and they're charging ridiculous money, like £1,000 for them. Anyway, so that's all that. Barry says, glad it's not smell-o-vision. Cecil DeVries says, see you on the next go around. I would buy one if I could do regular 16mm. Well, there you go. Some feedback, guys. Maybe that will be coming later. That we go, and end credits there. Well, it just flew by. What is it? 8 o'clock. Perfect. 1 hour. 1 hour of your time. Thank you all for joining, and I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Next week is the Exploding Cinema, so I will not be here. But the Thursday after that, 9th of April, I will hopefully, touch wood, be here with some more stuff. And that will be the start of Season 7. Oh my God, it's the end of Season 6. Wow. 60 shows, everyone. 60 shows. Started it during lockdown. Too bloody minded to quit. And thanks all for joining me. And, this side towards screen says, awesome show. Oh dear. It disconnected. This doesn't sound good. Okay, well it's a good time to get cut off. Oh, reconnection successful. Well, I don't know, might have lagged there, but yes. Jonas says, thank you, Ben. It's been super engaging. Bye to all. Bye everyone, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And if I've done anything with the Argo since then, I will let you. I'll let you all see it. Good night. Buenos. Buenos noches. Am I still on? Hello, network. My red light's still on.